Hello Microhealth, my name is Jenna and I am your certified trainer from the Be Well team. Today I will be taking you through some intermediate stretches for the hips and lower back. So we're going to start off lying on the ground. Onto your side, knees are going to be 90 degrees stacked together, and we're going to open up the chest. This is called an open book, and it can be very restorative for the spine. You also might feel this in the hip of the leg that's sitting on top. This is a nice little warm-up for the exercises we are about to do. If you want to, while you're doing this, you can make it an active stretch. So you can move the arm back and forth, or you can keep it in an isometric position like we're doing right now. This is also a great stretch for the shoulders. And you can kind of play around with the legs if you feel like you want to stretch a different part of the back or the hips. Now, settling and getting ready into our next exercise, we are going to sit up. From here, let's do a little crossed leg position. Place one arm onto the ground and reach the other arm over the head. Try not to fall forward or back. Just reach that arm to the opposite wall. We're holding all of these stretches for 30 seconds. And this one you should really feel in the obliques, the hip, as well as a little bit of the shoulder. If we have a tight TFL, tensor fascial latte, then this will be the area you feel it the most in, right on that bottom part of the hip. Let's keep breathing here, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Finding a comfortable position for you, and getting a deep stretch for about 30 seconds. Staying seated, we are going to now do a figure 4 stretch. This is something that you can do sitting in your chair as well. So for this stretch, we're targeting the glutes, the hips, and a little bit of that lower back if our hips and glutes are tight. What you're going to do is try and press your chest as close to you can to the knee. Now, if this is too intense, again, you can relax a little bit here. You don't need to press as close to that knee as you can. You can bend the elbows a little bit if that helps you relax. Just make sure we're getting a good stretch. And yes, we want it to be uncomfortable, but we don't want to have pain. As we switch sides, we're going to do the same thing. Breathing in and breathing out. Really relaxing within the last couple seconds of this stretch for the glutes and for the hips. Our next stretch is going to be on the knees, so let's go ahead and transition. Now, if this hurts your knee on the ground, you can place something underneath it, but here the main focus is stretching our hip flexors. So you can see where I'm pointing. We want to feel it in the front of that hip, making sure we're not arching that back as we go into this movement, but squeezing the glute and pushing the hip forward. This is a great stretch for the hip flexors that cause back tightness, as well as the quadriceps. An easy transition into a hamstring stretch is going to be just placing the front heel on the ground. Keep the back flat, lean over the hamstring, and then relax and round that back, getting a nice stretch throughout the back of the leg. Now, hamstrings do cause a lot of tightness within the back. We want to make sure we are stretching them. Okay, and let's go back to the other side with that hip flexor stretch. Now it might seem strange, but yes, the front of the hip can cause tightness in the back. It not only pulls our hip bone forward, but it can pull the lumbar spine into a slightly hyperextended position depending on how tight we are. And this can increase the joint pressure in our back. So we want to make sure we really stretch it. You guys are doing great. We just have one more stretch after this, and then you'll be finished. Just as we did on the other side, we are going to place the heel on the ground and stretch the hamstrings. Now, if the hamstrings are tight, they pull on what is known as our sitting bones, and that can draw the pelvis into an incorrect position where it starts to tilt backwards. And so then our lower back begins to move forward, and this can really hurt or misalign the spine. So we want to keep them nice and loose. All right, you guys, congrats on finishing this episode, and I hope to see you guys in the next wellness session.